a real hero. So it is what it is. So we have what else is going on? I saw Furiosa yesterday. I should do a review on it. I just don't have a ton to say about it, other than it's just a good action movie. I often don't do reviews if I don't have anything. Like it's not even that I like. There's a reason for me not to. I just if I don't have anything interesting to say, I don't really see the point. I guess I could just say I like the movie and you should probably go see it, but that's about it. To be honest, Furiosa. But it is what it is. Nothing I can do, but I digress. Was watching Kino Casino did like I haven't watched Kino Casino in like 6 months or something, but they did one on Nick Rekieta and it was pretty like it was pretty epic to be honest. So I was watching that. Oh, okay. I have a drink here with some ASMR. Why do you feel your free time watching Gen X, psycho sociopaths cancel and bully each other Gen X sociopath? Well, I mean, I don't really anymore. Like, as I said, I watch Kino Casino. Like, I used to watch it all the time, but I stopped watching it. I just wanted to see the takedown of Nick Rekieta, which was worthwhile because Nick Rekieta did like this drunk high stream, and it was amazing. It was like Charlie Sheen levels of just incoherent rambling, but I don't know. I stopped watching a lot of the drama stuff. It's partially why I do so much Ukraine cinematic universe stuff now. Is I swapped over from having my drama fix from e drama to more geopolitical stuff, which is probably a mistake, but I mean it is what it is. That stuff was just really like it's not good for your brain. I mean this stuff isn't good for your brain either, but it is what it is. Unless when you're referring to unless what unless we're counting Will Stancil as a Gen Z a Gen X sociopath, which is possible. I mean, Jesus, if we look at what we know about him from the Bible, he spent a lot of his life trolling like corrupt authority figures. So it's, I guess, I guess from a certain point of view, as the Sith would say, it could be argued. I think people underestimate Jesus's like troll abilities. Like, you have said it is such a good troll to say. Like, you say that you are the king of the Jews. You said it. I don't get the Angloid culture being obsessed with canceling people and being Karens. I don't really either. I just think it's funny to make fun of these people. I don't really like. It amuses me. It's. I'm trying to think. Who are the people I've actually? So the people I've actually said should be canceled. I'm just trying to think. 'Cause there was a list I had done. I said Vouch, because Vouch was advocating putting people who weren't vaxxed into camps and forcing them to starve to death. Um, like, okay, so I said Vouch. I said, um, I said Vouch. I said there's the. I think it was Be Awesome one. It was like the guy who did the like 3 year long G Slur op against DSP and destroyed his channel. I said him. Um, I don't know. There are some I just can't remember, to be honest. So it's yeah. I don't know. So it's actually kind of hard for me to think of people I've said should be deplatformed. A lot of them, I there was a number of people who I said that like if Fuentes didn't want to like have bad optics, he should remove from his website. All of which I think pretty much did. Like I said, Baked was bad optics. I said that Ralph was bad optics. And I got into fights with people over this, that Ralph is a changed man and that he's the best and we need to have him on board. But Fuentes is the one thing you can't... I haven't been... I'm trying to remember. I haven't been on Kiwi Farms since the whole thing happened with Keffels. Like a couple years back where... where it's like on like a 50 billion servers. So yeah, I just stopped looking at Kiwi Farms after a while. I think the other thing is it depends whether you're like watching it like as a Jerry Springer drama or because you're actually mad about it. And there's a lot of A-logs of DSP who actually hate him and actually want him to go to the streets. So, and I've always been pretty critical about those people and stuff like that. But no, like Kiwi Farms, I don't know. They've talked about me. They posted fake docs of me once on Twitter, on Kiwi Farms, which was an interesting experience. No, like I don't even, I shouldn't even talk about Fuentes. On like the one Telegram, the main server other than just my viewer Discord, there's a ban on even mentioning Fuentes because the Groypers there will just spurg and they will just pick a fight with everybody if anything mildly critical is said about their Fuhrer. Yeah, I mean, to be okay. Oh no, who else did I say? No, I said Ross because he was a pedophile who worked at an elementary school. I said people should probably try to get him arrested. I said the furries who are on camera torturing animals should probably be in jail. I think I said that you should flag the people who are making the Elsa Spider-Man grooming videos. I'm just trying to, well, I don't even want to say who the people are, but they're people who have been in kind of friends with various other people for a long time. But yeah, no, I know, like people are banned. Like, as I said, for the RGs, internet stuff is banned or else like Project Liberal would win like worst takes or whatever, but they're not allowed to. They're banned from this kind of stuff. No, but like I got into some people got really really angry at me when I said that Ralph shouldn't have been allowed on Cozy. And if you look at like the current fight with Fisted, I'm not even going to talk about it. Groypers are just like, my issue with them isn't even that they support Nick. Like, that's not even really, my issue is just the like, breakdown and the hysterical just freak out if anyone criticizes their Fuhrer. Like, it's not even that they support him. It's not even that they like him. It's not even that they like support America for. It's just, it's really annoying. Also, they mass flag people a lot, which is G slur as fuck. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the stuff. So we're going to take a look today at a man who is a real human being, who is a real hero, who is somebody who came to my attention, I think, through Charlemagne, and his name is Will Stancil, who somehow has 81,000 followers on Twitter. Now, I don't know what percentage of these are people who troll him and people who follow him for being a lolcow, or people who actually believe him, believe in him. I'm doing maybe one of my like old boomer memes again, that people don't get. Let's see here, real bean. Here we go. Okay, here we go.
Can get hit and keep moving forward, okay? And don't be pointing fingers saying, I'm not where I need to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you.
It's the music from Drive. Sounds kind of like Real Human Being instead of Real Human Being. So that kind of became a meme. Also, yeah, so anyway, sorry. That's my old... Maybe that's a boomer meme. Okay, so where was I? On Will Stancil. Okay, so Will Stancil is allegedly a lawyer, allegedly an urban planner, allegedly an academic. I don't personally believe that he has a job because of how much he posts on Twitter. Does it say, where does it say on Twitter how many posts people make? Does it just not say that? Is that hidden or something? Anyways, he just basically posts all day, every day. He came to attention as being the head of it also, so the Real Human Being was also just something people were saying. Like if someone was getting harassed or beat up or something, they'd say, stop bullying him. He's a real human being. I know DSP said that a lot. Okay, I'm sorry. Then again, this is like part of why you watch this is for like obscure memes. I don't know a lot about like a lot of mainstream memes, but I know some obscure shit. Anyways, so Will Stancil kind of came to attention, and there's been some articles on him because he is probably the biggest online defender. Thank you, Void Crawler, 122,000 tweets of Biden. He is the most hardcore, like Bidenomics is working, inflation's down, things are great, and his entire account is basically just him hysterically posting about how much he hates the average person. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll let you decide for yourself. And I was trying to engage with some of his viewers, and I think I was very reasonable, and they just spurged out on me. Because I like to occasionally challenge myself and say, you know what? Am I just arrogant? Am I just like one of these people who say they're like big-brained and they have like a 140 IQ and all these people are retarded and they're just so far up their own ass? And I like to try to like challenge myself and just see, what is it that these people are saying? Can I engage with them? Can I ask them questions? And generally speaking, what I find is you will get NPC responses, like you'll say something and then they'll just give you a canned answer. Or what they will do is they'll they're just incapable of like even understanding what you're saying. So Will Stancil is a supposed academic, and he is running for Congress. For the Minnesota State House, because somebody needs to put the public in line, because the public are out to, like, the public are evil. So here we go. We're going to take a look at something I said. We'll go through his timeline a bit more, but this is one of his posts. Complaining about prices is a reliable source of right-wing crankery because you can always go, I can't believe groceries are $100 now. And a lot of people will go, yeah, regardless of the basic considerations of whether or that's new or what's being bought or whether it's even true. People don't know how much things cost. People enjoy being mad. In recent years, the left discovered that as long as it abandons basic commitment to careful factual accuracy, it can engage in the same thing. So I made what I thought was and this will make more sense once we go through the rest of his page. But I said, honest question. I know I misspelled some shit. I was typing this on my phone, and you can't correct shit on Twitter. Given the content of your account, do you honestly believe that shitting on the average person and calling them detractors for expressing their concerns is a good political strategy? Whether or not you agree or not, these are the average person's concerns. So I didn't think this was like a troll post. I was just honestly, because his entire account is just saying that people are retarded for thinking there's inflation. And I'm just like, dude, how do you expect to get anywhere in politics? So I said, okay, so then we have Rusty Shackelford, who's based. I'm not even trying to concern troll. I just don't get who this is supposed to appeal to. Going to the average voter and talking to them in this fashion just seems like really bad optics. So this guy goes, I don't know if I follow. His whole point is that the average person would have experienced bigger percentages and weight increases than but not necessarily. Okay, so I'm trying to remember, this is the one where I posted. And abrasively yelling at them on Twitter all day is the way to convince them. Who's yelling? This entire account is him posting rants. Okay, this guy is making good points. Truth is not feelings. Okay, so this guy here is claiming that only Twitter weirdos think that there's inflation. Every survey shows that the majority of the American population thinks the economy is doing bad. I'm so lost. Okay, so what is this? The majority of... So if my understanding... so the claim is that anyone who thinks there's inflation is a Twitter weirdo. I don't think that is inaccurate. I said, regardless of whether... Okay, so I said that inflation is the average person. A lot of people are concerned about that. This capo of his says it's not the average person. It's Twitter weirdos. So if I understand, so this was a study I looked at. According to Ipsos, 85% of Americans think that there is inflation. So my point was, and I don't really see why this is even like me trolling. Why are you saying that the 85% of people who think there's inflation are just retarded? Like, that seems like bad optics to me. So then we have this dude. I don't know all the survey responders personally, and neither do you. So maybe don't confuse your feelings with theirs. So according to this, you have to personally know everybody in a national poll to use it. And so I just said, I don't get the optics of calling the 85% of the population who think it's a problem stupid. Post the wrong chat, but for example here. So this is what one person said. Yes, he seems frustrated with the amount of stupidity it takes for large swaths of people to think up is down. I can't blame him. And his plan to win an election is to call all 85% of the population stupid. You prefer to hide the truth when you might hurt someone's fee-fees? Like, they can't even understand it. So survey respondents aren't pestering him on Twitter. So is the contention here it's just so fucking stupid. So the contention is the only people who are concerned about inflation are Twitter weirdos, except for the 85% of the corn guy. I actually blew the corn guy out. Let's take a look at the corn guy, because I actually blew that guy out. I completely, totally destroyed him. Let me just go back to that, because I got him to admit some shit. Okay. So he complained about Nazis. So he said it's morally right to beat up grown-ass Nazis. Children must learn to have this hate. They don't practice it. Johnny B. Bad says, thank you for the quality content. I appreciate it. I was actually watching that clip the other day. The Johnny B. Good clip from Back to the Future. So must learn that this hate, they don't practice it and preach it until adulthood. Never should a child be put in a bad situation due to their parents' beliefs. So I asked once again, which I thought was a relatively normal question. Generally curious, could you provide a definition of Nazi or follower of the political ideology National Socialism? It gets thrown around a lot, but virtually none of these people espouse German ultranationalism. So this guy says American flag waving and watching football and sports and all that is a measure of nationalism or National Socialism and exceptionally strong. I wouldn't want to be in the position, be the person not on board Team America when this kicks off. I spend all my time punching politicians and foreigners. So National Socialism in your definition is excessive flag waving at sporting events. So I have the definition here, right here. Sorry for potato. So basically he said anyone who's not authoritarian left, is like anyone who's not a Maoist, because that's like where Maoism or Stalinism would be on this chart, is a neo-Nazi. And he agreed with it. And he said, yes, that's close enough. So I said, I guess I appreciate your honesty in saying that it's a generic term for anyone you don't agree with. So I like to think I blew him out there, because I got him to admit that his definition of Nazi is anyone he doesn't agree with. And it's not like a German ultranationalist. It's not a anti-Semite. It's not anything other than people he just doesn't like. Anyways, but going back to here, so the contention is it's okay for him to call people stupid who think that the economy is bad, because the only people who think the economy is bad are crazy people on Twitter. And the 85% of people who think the economy is bad IRL aren't following him on Twitter. And what if they look at his Twitter? Like I don't get it. Don't people follow the Twitter of politicians all the time? Like, what if people in his district, like, what if the Republican, Zach Kilgore, my condolences, this is for the Rebel Moon Recovery Fund. Thank you. What if somebody from his district, like his opposition researcher, goes and like clips all these tweets and puts them up and says, look, this guy's nuts. It's just, to me, and I know, and my friend Terrellian frequently yells at me for this, for trying to inject logic, but is it really like that insane for, like, okay, so people in the chat, I'm sorry for continually like going and asking you guys about this, but I have to try to like convince myself that I'm not just schizophrenic. is me saying that if you want to be a politician, you shouldn't be calling 85% of the public stupid and saying their concerns are dumb and that they're detractors for having the concerns is a bad electoral strategy. I don't really get why that's like a controversial, insane, far-right opinion. But that is apparently what it is. Let's see. Is somebody messaging me? No. Okay. So let's go further down. Let's go down Will Stancil. Now, I am convinced that Will Stancil's account is a desperate cry for help and that it's suicide baiting. I think that this is like, I think this whole thing is him asking people for a wellness check or something like that. So let's take a look at okay, there is a really egregious one earlier today, which is probably the most this is probably the most egregious example of lying I've ever seen in my life. Okay. So he claimed that wars would be worse under Trump. He said that war was worse when Trump was president and that wars would get worse when he was in power. I'm just trying to find it. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. So he made this quote. Everything gets worse if Trump is elected. Wars get worse. Corruption gets worse. Worker pay gets worse. Everything gets worse. So I said, you need to get help, man. There is so much to live for. Suicide isn't the solution. Okay. So I said, how many wars did Trump get the U.S. into versus Biden? And I mean, is that an inaccurate statement? Like, what wars did Trump start? So I think that is a fair question. So this person said no new wars under Trump. We got 2 new wars under Biden, 5 under Obama, 2 under Bush 43. Climate change. Okay, so he directly quotes this and says there were no wars under Trump. He claims that's what this guy is saying, is that there were no wars under Trump. But like it literally, he literally removed the new. This is an insane alternate reality talking point the MAGA morons have pushed. The U.S. was quite literally out in a war. Plus, he escalated drone campaigns. Biden removed us from that war at great political cost. It has virtually ended drone. Well, I mean, what about the Houthis? What about I don't know. No new wars, which is accurate. Biden involves us in 2 new wars. There are no U.S. troops in Ukraine. I mean, I've disproved this. Like, the New York Times has admitted to this. I did a full fucking stream on it. Like, I don't know if I need to just start, like, when I do these, pull up the stream. Or New York Times Argent admits. It's always so hard to find myself on YouTube search. Oh, it looks like maybe it's getting like blocked but I did if anyone wants the article, I can send it to them. It was the article, The Shadow War, which was talking about how the CIA had like 8 bases in Ukraine. What new wars? So then this NAFO guy says he bombed Syria and threatened North Korea with fire and fury. He sent weapons to Ukraine. Trump started a war with North Korea? When did that happen? He started a war with Syria? When? I don't know when any of this happened. Um, New is kind of important here, but I noticed you skipped that. We are not in new war. You're not at war with the Houthis. Like, it's this. Okay, so by this logic, Russia's not at war with Ukraine because it's not a war. It's the special military operation. So it's not a war. But let's get back and let's look at some more Will Stancil hot takes. Do you think the traditional media will ever report on the fact that one of the largest communities on this site, which has been actively cultivated by the owner, is open and proud Nazis? Is a Nazi in the room with you right now? uh, It's obvious that our news people are completely uncomfortable talking about the growth of unapologetic Nazism in American right-wing circles and decided to pretend it doesn't matter or isn't happening. Okay. Once again, and I've just started to say this, and I might have to do with. I've been wanting to put a video together. Why do they keep calling these people Nazis? National Socialism is a specific ideology from the 1930s and 1940s based on certain historical, cultural factors that took place during that time. The core of National Socialism is German ultranationalism, and to a lesser extent, anti-Semitism. But those are the only two consistent parts of the ideology. Is that it is basically just the most radical form of German nationalism, to the point that it invented these weird racial theories that don't even align with racial stuff from the time period. So do any of these people espouse that? Do any of these people espouse the Greater German Reich? Do any of these people talk about all this? They aren't. None of these people. And I mean, Trump is Semophilic. Trump was the most pro-Israeli president in U.S. history. So it's just bullshit. It's none of these people are actually National Socialists. And I don't even like any of these people, most of these people, but it's bad we left. Okay, so once again, this is very much how a child looks at the world. MAGA idiots vote Trump the president of peace. Also MAGA idiots. It's bad we left Afghanistan. We should still have troops on the ground. So once again, I don't understand if he's just stupid or dishonest or whatever. So I don't think the complaint was that they withdrew from Afghanistan. I think the complaint was that Biden was completely retarded about it, and it was a debacle and embarrassment. Does he just not understand something that it's slightly more complicated than withdraw, not withdraw? There's also was the withdrawal competently handled? Was the withdrawal incompetently handled? Can anyone really say that the withdrawal from Afghanistan was not a complete and total shit show? No, to be honest, it was a shit show. They had to flee. They had to bribe the Taliban to not attack them. Let's see here. Okay. Where is this? Trump's Reich. There were no new wars under. Okay, there's no wars under Trump where he just lies. The trick here is to bank on Americans being stupid and conspiratorial enough and detached enough from material consequences of war. To describe to Biden's wars the U.S. did not start, it is not a combatant in. I mean, and I've been over this. Okay, so wars that I would consider to be wars that the U.S. has started or is party to. The war with the Houthis. I think I consider them a party to the Israeli-Hamas war and the wider Middle Eastern crisis. war in Ukraine, as they've said many times that they're a party to the war in Ukraine. We have the ongoing crisis in Georgia. We had like the attempt at an economic coup against Hungary. We had. Does anyone even remember the Sahel crisis? And that's still going on, where all those coups happened. And the U.S. was trying to get France and the West African countries to form the coalition of the willing to go in and fight them. Does anyone even remember that? Like, I don't know. They're trying to get into a war with China. The U.S. is involved in the war, the civil war in Myanmar. All these things. All of these things happened. Okay, this is another meme I keep saying. Do people not understand what's happening here? Remember when Trump said, Russia, if you're listening, I hope you find those emails. It was understood he was telling them to hack Clinton. This is Russia. If you're listening, keep holding that American hostage. I like how... I love the narrative around the like DNC emails. It's like, okay, so all the stuff in them was real. All the insane shit that came out was real. But the fact that... like they were hacked means that we can't talk about them. A lot of journalists follow me, so I'm going to be blunt. If you care about your colleagues or care about your profession, you'll stand up to your bosses when they try to downplay this. We all know what Trump is doing here. So the media like doesn't want to criticize Trump. The media is in the bag for Trump. Most people are miserable, Will. They're out of time. Okay, so let's see here. Job satisfaction is at a record high. I'm not going to shield you from the hard truth. Let's see here. The economy is very strong. Some groups and industries are doing worse than average, as is necessarily the case. One reason it is important to acknowledge that the economy is strong is that it makes it easier to build support for measures to help the unlucky minority. What kind of word salad is that? Well, so let's say, because it might be true that the nominal GDP of the U.S. is growing. So the U.S. national debt is currently growing at a rate of $1 trillion every 100 days. Now, if you are putting in that amount of money, obviously you're going to have some growth, at least on the surface. Now, one could argue that maybe this is a really bad idea to be growing the debt that quick, but to improve the like nominal GDP of the country, and that this is going to be a disaster in the long term. And as I said, and he doesn't seem to be able to understand like the point I'm making. And I'm going to make it once again. I know I made it a minute ago, but does it really matter whether or not the economy is doing well? Like, is that even really an issue? My point that I'm trying to make is to 85% of the American public, they don't think the economy is doing well. So are you going to... So the strategy is just to say that they're detractors and they're evil and they're losers and stuff like that, and just to insult them? And that's the plan? I don't know, like, I'm not even, as I've said in some of these, my responses to him, I've been like, what are they spending the $1 trillion on? Nobody knows, dude. Nobody knows what the money is being spent on. It's just being spent. And this is why, honestly, I don't really get why people complain about Biden's loan forgiveness. Where is it? Because Biden was canceling some student loans, and I'm like, look, there's so much just money being wasted on random shit. At least the loan cancellation helps like actual like actual average people. This is a meme, but in the Biden administration, the poor get richer and the rich get poorer. The rich are really mad about it and trying to convince you everything is miserable and you should re-elect Trump. Most of you are falling for it. I don't know, like, what is defined, once again, what is defined as rich? And this is something I think you should just keep in mind. A, wealth is very relative to what part of the country you live in. I make okay money where I live. If I was living in Vancouver or Toronto or something, I would make shit money and I couldn't afford a studio apartment. Someone could be rich in Texas, but below the poverty line in New York. It's very subjective. It also depends on the number of kids you have. There's like a lot of different factors involved in what's considered rich and what's considered poor. Rich equals white. Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, but wages have kept up even after adjusting for inflation, but the numbers. Real net worth for bottom half households is up 2/3 since 2019. Just a massive surge. Okay, let's see. Let's look at this once again, and I'm going to complain about this until it's done, until it goes away. This is like this is the default in Excel. If you go into Excel and you hit format as a table, this is what it comes up as like the default. Because I've done so many of these in time. And like they're too lazy to make something that looks a little bit aesthetically different. It's, unemployment rate. Job creation rate per month. Okay. Average pre-pandemic. I don't know. I'm going to have to press massive X to doubt on this one. That's maybe it's gone up because people weren't spending money during the pandemic. Is this inflation adjusted? Okay, it is. It says adjusted for inflation. Okay. I don't know. Where is this chart from? I created it using Fred data. Okay, Fred data. All right. If you didn't vote in 2020, what do you look like? You're either extremely disengaged, low information voter, or you're very young. Where do you get the information about the world that's not in the newspapers? Non-voters have moved from Biden to Trump because they're just the people are just detractors. Attempted a coup. Let's see here. And here is like, I forget if I posted here. This is the inherent racism, and I've started calling people out for this on Twitter. Okay, let me just write this. Democrats need to understand that lunatics like Clarence Thomas are not going to simply fade out and go away. They can't sigh and wait for things to go back to normal. Either they will be defeated and overcome by political action, or they will win and break America. This is why such a world historic error to shrug at Thomas's corruption is like a giant gap open in the lines of the attacking army, and rather than driving hard for it, Dems assumed the attackers wouldn't simply turn around and leave if they outweighed them. Do you guys kind of get what I mean by like this dude being unhinged? Okay, let's see here. Why do you have to perpetrate racist stereotypes of powerful black men in positions of authority being corrupt? You need to look at your subconscious biases. There we go. Unemployment insurance paid out more. What is this? Uh, it's incredible that America tried social democracy for like a year. We were the best at it. But since the price of a cheesy bean and rice burrito at Taco Bell went up by 19 cents, um, we are on the track to elect fascism. What? I don't like. What is the point they're trying to make here? That the U.S. borrowed more money than the other countries? That like just giving like what is the point here? We borrowed more money. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so he thinks that Facebook and TikTok and TV news and local newspapers are all propaganda outlets. Let's see here. Okay, let's look at this conspiracy theory. People have been sharing this all day, but like I knew prices were out of control. Biden must address this. But here's the thing. The prices are fake. The 2019 McDonald's prices are the Alabama average, while the 2024 prices are menu prices from a single LA franchise. Okay, it's social media. Okay, I think he wants to ban social media. People do not actually have a detailed registry of price increases over time. In their heads, they're just continually told that prices are too high, often with fake or exaggerated numbers by their social media feeds, by the TV, by newspapers. If that stops, no one will care. So if we ban all opposition media, it'll go away. But Will, you're making it sound like inflation panic is like the caravan panic or the Ebola panic. Surely inflation is more fundamental somehow. No, it's exactly like the caravan panic or the Ebola panic. Deportation is really a plan for U.S. dictatorship. Let's see here. Let's see. There's some more insane shit. I like how the economy is bad is just a point of religious faith for these people, not an assertion to be supported with data. The reason I'm saying the economy is good is that almost all the key economic indicators are fine to excellent. There doesn't mean there are no problems. Okay, my feelings don't care about facts. And absolutely no useful can be. It's a speedway to populist authoritarianism. He's gonna. Okay, let's see here. I like how he's shitting on like the socialist tranny now. The number is 5%. The thing about the internet is that you can make up scary sounding numbers and everyone just retweets them every way because they don't care if it's true. They just want to be mad. Let's see. Does he have a source for this? Okay. I guess he did. There is a source here under community notes. Okay. So is that national or is that just... So I don't know. Let's see here. Grocery prices are not 3 times what they were 4 years ago. This is a hallucination. Let's see here. In recent years, okay, where are we going? Just trying to find some of this. He said anybody who thinks there's inflation is like far right. That's a common one. Literally the median worker. Let me just go back because I've reposted a lot of his more unhinged stuff. Is there a way to search my own profile? I'm sorry I'm such a boomer when it comes to Twitter, but it's I only started using it like last year because Elon unbanned me. Do I have to go? Maybe it's I do at Argent Stencil. How do I hate it so? It's so shitty. Okay. Why is it so hard to fucking search anything? Did they all just get taken down or something like that? Is that what happened? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Twitter's just too much for me and like my boomer technical abilities. Or it could just be shittily designed. It could be like a mixture of both. I don't know. I feel like they all just got taken down. I had like a whole bunch of Will Stancil posts. Maybe they all just got deleted or something? Is maybe under replies? Let's see here. Okay, maybe it's under replies. Oh, okay, here we go. Biden administration cancels $7.7 billion in student loans for a total of 160,000 borrowers. I mean, like, once again, if they're increasing the debt by like $1 trillion every 100 days, I mean, that's less than 1 day of debt. So, I mean, I don't really get why that's so bad. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Everything Trump gets elected. Okay, so let's look at a couple of these. People often don't know what things cost. They really don't know what they cost before, and they're not keeping close enough tabs on their personal finances to know if they're up 1% in net disposable income or whatever. People enjoy being mad. Okay, where's some other stuff? Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to find this. TikTok, the U.S. economy is a nightmare. We're in a depression. No one can get a job. Sounds like voters think the economy is bad. I bet housing costs are to blame. So, once again, this is like they're just attacking these people. Let's see here. Voters are detractors. Vote for me. Okay. The problem is that Our political class has trained itself to treat ideas spreading from person to person as some sort of crazy conspiracy theory, preferring to instead assume each American lives in a silo and independently forms all their ideas. Who thinks that? Like, what is he even fucking talking about? It's not just TikTok, but we don't need to speculate about voters and poll respondents somehow atmospherically absorbing bad sentiment from some random component of the economy. You can directly observe and trace the spread of these ideas through the population. Like, is people thinking the economy is bad COVID? Or something like that? Okay, let's see here. There's some other stuff. Just gonna go down because there's a bunch of ones I retweeted that were suicide baiting. Why is I don't know. I always seem to have like a ton of problem doing any kind of search on Twitter. Like I find it really hard for some reason. I don't know if it's just that it doesn't work very well or like I don't get why there's not an easy way to search your feed. Maybe there is, and I'm just too retarded to like know how to do it. But it's really annoying. I just have to go through this shit manually. There's Baron of the Taiga. If you don't follow Baron of the Taiga, go follow Baron of the Taiga. He's great. Sorry, I'm just trying to find this. That was back before I just blocked Project Liberal because I couldn't take it anymore. It was just too much. Okay, I'm going to try looking this up again. Search replies Twitter. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to find this. Well, the search doesn't work. Like, why would you need to be able to search your replies? Like, that's... Why would there be an easy search function? Okay, is there... There's no filter button. Okay, here we go. Honestly, all of this makes it even scarier that you're a ball of incandescent rage who spends hours every day abusing strangers on the internet for having the temerity to want Joe Biden to beat Trump. Let's see here. Okay, Okay, call him to resign. I'm just trying to find this. Falsely accusing a William Musk of a drug problem with malicious intent. Certain, okay, he would probably sue the people. Maybe it's time for the U.S. government to start treating Elon Musk as more of a problem. So he's calling for the deep state to kill Elon Musk. Okay, here we go. What's so infuriating about the Biden is senile narrative is that there are so many examples of him talking at length off script and sounding like an old guy with a stutter. But Republicans know this is that it's the secondhand reports that stick. No one will look for themselves. Meanwhile, you can watch literally any segment of any public interaction. Trump has and are virtually guaranteed he will not complete a full thought without rambling off into the weeds incomprehensibly. But that's just left out of the discussion, so it's invisible in the public mind. What are they talking about second? Like... Okay, well, this is what he said a couple of years ago. It's truly amazing that I'm learning is that in private, many people in politics will freely talk about how Biden isn't all there anymore, but many don't care because they want Bernie. Intentionally trying to nominate a candidate approaching senility. Okay, so he even admitted that he was crazy. That Biden was mentally deficient. Also, I don't get, like, what does he mean, the secondhand reports? Like, I've never seen a secondhand report about Biden's senility. Basically, all the Biden senility ones are when he's giving speeches, often with prepared remarks. He'll just start talking about random shit. Okay, here we go. The women of America waiting with bated breath to find out exactly how many weeks of bodily autonomy their rapist criminal president will decide they get to have. Whoa, buddy. It's rough. It's rough. Let's see here. Oh yeah, okay, the tedious mental breakdown. Most people believe when these ideas circulate in their social networks and become shared truth, which is a problem that we're building online communities millions strong, where black people are innately criminal and stupid, are consensus truths. Let's see here. We're going to have to deal with these people in the consent... Like... Intolerable that we filled up our society with these professional trolls and bullies, people whose careers and livelihoods revolve around finding vulnerable, unpopular groups and rationalizing as much abuse of those groups as possible. They deserve misery. I mean, isn't that his entire account? The internet made it possible for anyone with a heart full of prejudice and a little gumption to lead a digital pogrom against whatever group they hate most. Black people, trans people, immigrants, take your pick. And if anyone points out what you're doing, you can cry victim. Like how you do for white people. Okay, let's go through some of these. People are bored of the anti-Trump fight and they are trying to give themselves permission to do something crazy. That's one of the fascist greater tools. The boredom of the privileged who talk themselves into permitting disaster to break the unrewarding monotony of preventing it. Like, what? Guys, let's be extremely clear. The red pill Nazi types have not glommed onto me. They are pretending to support me because they know that that's more toxic and damaging than saying that they hate me. No, it's the thing is though, like he posts this all day every day. It's like, I don't know. I don't think this comes from like a mentally stable person. Um, People think that this is a clever response, but it's not true. Being in the country while undocumented is not a crime, and many undocumented people overstay a visa rather than crossing the border. In any event, this is not the crime people are talking about. Uh, let's see. We do not support anti-Semitism on X. Okay, so it's got the like we're not. Let's see here. I'm trying to find some of this other stuff. Do not mistake my absolute contempt for Nazis, bigots, and liars for Twitter drama. It has nothing to do with Twitter, and you chumps are lucky I only see you on here. What does that mean? What? Honestly, that city of freaks either is so incredibly toxic when someone feels compelled to rip out the jugular of their ideological allies. That's a pretty big flag. There's a certain type on this site, mid 20s do what? Do not okay, you're threatening the safety of people saying you'll physically harm them. No, I'm saying I could say exactly what you and your crowd would not have your back at all, which is how you hide like a worm while I use my God-given name. Well, but like people can't. And yet, despite you yourself, okay, so like just threatening people. Once again, like it's this total lack of self awareness. Why is it that people who disagree with you have to hide behind anonymous stuff? Like, why do they have to do that, but you don't? Like, it's to him that's evidence of something. Okay. Let's see, what was this one? Okay, let's look at some more Will Stancil. But dude, 121,000 posts. And most of these are not even retweets. Let's see here. If Joe Biden wants to stop losing the election, okay, where we go? Okay, here we go. That's the analogy. The press are essentially referees doing the make-up penalty thing. So he is obsessed with the idea that the press is pro-Trump. So they're going to. What? Let's see here. Okay, here we go. We do not have any trouble accepting that large groups of people can form false beliefs. The election is fake. If the media sources tell them those things and their social networks echo it, there is no reason to believe our economic perception are immune to these beliefs. In reality, most Americans hold demonstrably false beliefs about the economy. Those beliefs reflect commonplace narratives in media and social media. It's really not hard to see what's happening here. So, So, like, once again, he thinks that the media, like, is controlled by Trump. Like, I don't understand how you can think that. Uh, Families are wealthier than they used to be. But people don't, like, think that. Like, it's social panic caused by media and social media institutions. Yeah, it's just Trump controls the mainstream media. I am once again begging people to realize that the thing is that is fundamentally broken in other countries are political press. It cannot cover Trump without breaking its own self-imposed requirement of always seeming neutral. So it has given up on covering Trump. Like, what is he like? He thinks that the media is pro-Trump. Like, I don't know how you could think that. Uh, Will Stencil, Will board coming soon. Wow. Look at this. Unique donors, average donation, total raise. Wait a minute, let me see here. Okay, so. Okay, so that doesn't add up. Um, so 910 times 55 is 50,050. So he that's not correct. How much do you want to bet that the that all, like the 50,000 came from one person and the rest is just one person? Viral rage is an instrument of the far right. It can't convince progressives to vote for Trump, but it can exploit rage and despair to make progressives lose sight of the big picture and treat a president with a progressive policy record and strong economic record as intolerable. So yeah, it's just all of this. It's just I see my. How did you see it? You have to see every single person in the country's finances. You better pay. Okay, so I think that's about enough. We can cover this again, but I don't know. I just find the his entire thing to basically be suicide baiting. Like, he just spends all day posting this shit. Um and all of it just comes across to me as whiny and angry and um like how the media supports Trump and stuff like that, and I don't know. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. God bless everybody, and maybe we'll cover our buddy